Vag, vag, vag. What you gonna do when it's hot outside? Ooh, I know what. Listen to Vag. What you gonna do when the trains are down? Ooh, I know what. Listen to Vag.
Yeah, going back to the seeing everyone out in the park, like in the West Village, and then I think I saw a picture of Sheep's Meadow in Central Park, and that was pretty full too.
Yeah, I went to Larchmont, which is in Westchester. There's like really like $3-4 million houses along the water, which is really nice. And there were people there, and some of them had masks on, some didn't. But then I also saw a group of girls that were clearly just friends that aren't living together.
Yeah.
There's like 8 of them. They had masks on, but they had no gloves. And I'm just wondering, I mean, the numbers are going to spike back up again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we went to Roosevelt Island, and that park was not nearly as busy, so we felt okay about it.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, when you look at those photos where Chelsea is in the West Village or whatever that area is, Battery Park, you're like, you couldn't even see. I think we saw one person wearing a mask and no one else was wearing a mask.
Yeah, and they're probably also all taking the train.
Yeah, that's the thing. I haven't even bothered taking a train. I just feel like if I'm Cuomo, I would just be like, well, if you guys are doing that, then maybe we should get back to work because
yeah, if we're gonna be on quarantine and everyone's out anyway on the train, it's like reopen stuff, let us make money, and then we'll get sick.
Yeah, because we're just getting sick this way on our days off if we're gonna all just hang out together like that. So then we might as well just open the economy back up.
Also, like, I still haven't gotten unemployment. So I just wonder what they think. Like, I'm surprised people are even having these picnics and stuff because I'm like, where are you getting this money from?
I know
It's so crazy that you can't get in touch. I get it. There's like millions of people using the site, but they've had a couple of weeks to implement some kind of new program. It's just like, if everyone could get on Netflix, we should all be able to get on unemployment.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, I don't understand. It's weird because it's a lot of us. Like, I was talking to Tracy because she was asking if I was on unemployment, and I was like, I haven't gotten anything yet. And they did call back to confirm, and then they were like, we'll have somebody call you, if we need more information. And then that's been probably 3 or 4 weeks now, and I still haven't heard back from them.
I did get a rejection letter last week saying I didn't make enough money because they're only using one 1099 from 2018. So I had to resend all this paperwork in.
Yeah.
But who knows how long it's going to take for them to get that and process that.
Yeah.
I wonder if the people listening are getting unemployment and how long it took them to get it, if they're from New York or if they're somewhere else in the United States. I'd be curious to know. I'm assuming other states probably aren't as inundated as New York.
I know Jason Canner got the stimulus check and unemployment, and he only bartended like 3 nights a week, even sometimes 1.
I don't know. I mean, I did get the stimulus check. I just haven't gotten unemployment.
I would kill just to even have that so I can pay off some because I'm more like right now just worried about paying off my credit card and the high interest rates that I have right now, that I want to just take that stimulus check and just
pay that stuff off.
Yeah, use that money to pay that, and so I can buy time with them before it gets really bad, or at least try to get my interest rate to lower.
What's kind of fun is I'm doing this thing right now with my utility and like my car and stuff, where you can call them and just push your payment back. I think with Con Ed it's 3 weeks, and my car I can do it every 30 days, and then they just tack it on to the end of the lease. So I just have to hope like that car gets stolen or like I die and get hit by a car. Like, imagine them tacking all that on at the end, and I'm going to be like, hilarious, guys. There's no way I'm going to be able to pay this all at once.
I just picture you like kind of, if that happened, like you keep pushing it, and then you get hit by a car and you're just in the ambulance, and I just picture you kind of like laughing yourself to death knowing that you got to screw them over.
I'm gonna have to. I don't know what else I'm gonna have to do. It's so crazy because it's like I don't know what people are gonna do. Like it's so funny. There's a girl that I went to high school with, and she's a little ratchet. I like her though. She's fun. And she's posting on, I think it's Facebook or something, how I guess she owns a building and has tenants, and I guess they're all not paying her. She's like, I already got a lawyer and I have my letter. Once 3 months hits, you're all getting evicted. And I wanted to write to her, but I don't want to spoil her dream. Like, good luck kicking those people out. You know how many people, do you know how many other people are trying to kick people out? The courts are going to be backed up forever.
Oh, it's gonna be awful. And then like who does she expect to move into her place?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I think she's just angry right now and not actually thinking about it, because then you have to have other people move in. Who knows what germs they're carrying? Do you know what I mean? Then you're having people moving boxes. It's just like, it's so crazy right now.
I know. My sister is moving back to Texas at the end of this month.
That's what I was going to ask you. What is she doing with all her furniture and stuff? Is she having it driven down there?
She's going to have it driven down there, and then it's only going to be a 24-hour drive, and then she's stopping at a friend's place in North Carolina, and she's going to crash in there. They have a little trailer, so she's going to crash in there for one night and then head back to Texas.
So is she driving like a U-Haul down there?
I think she's hired a company. It's like called Pods or something, where they pack everything up for you. And then she's going to rent a car on her own with some of her stuff in there and then just drive down to Austin.
That's so crazy.
I know. I get it though, because she's like, her company said, hey, look, we think New York is just going to be in a constant state of quarantine for the next year. And
I think they're right.
Yeah. And she's like, their company's like, we just don't picture anybody, like we can't have anyone come into work right now. So, and all of this can be done remotely. So they're like, go and stay with your family, or if you don't have to be here for the next 2 years. So she's just like, I'm just going to move to Austin where I can have my own backyard.
So they have an office in Manhattan, I assume?
Yeah, it's like on the upper, or like Midtown on the east side in the 50s, I think.
I mean, that's nice of them. I think a lot.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, even though there's shitty people during this, there's also some really nice, compassionate people.
Oh yeah, our landlord's been pretty nice. Like, I think we ended up, he said we didn't have to pay rent on the downstairs until
that's really nice.
It's over. I mean, at least until if I get my unemployment, then I'll give him some money from the unemployment to pay. No. I know, but he's just been so nice about it that like we are getting a whole new apartment and not paying any rent, and I've been using it the whole entire time. It
was just doing nothing down there before anyway.
That is true. But he's so nice. I do like him. So
then blow him once in a while. Don't give him extra money.
Dude, I'd rather give him money than do blowjobs. You know my work ethic when it comes to BJs.
I guess, but like one a month to save $500-600, you just got to do it.
Yeah, no, I'd rather pay $500 than do a BJ.
No way.
You'd rather do a BJ than pay $500.
Right now, with the amount of money that's in my bank account, yes.
I think I would just go homeless before I have to suck people off.
Yeah, no. I would blow somebody for $500. For $500, I would blow somebody.
Yeah, I think I could. I'd be all right living on the street knowing that I didn't have to have random cum in my mouth.
No, he's not going to be able to come in my mouth. That's not part of the deal. Absolutely not. That's an extra $500.
Yeah, I just assumed that I was letting them all come in my mouth. I guess I didn't realize
Sarah,
it.
You're not a great negotiator.
Well, I guess I'm just not going to blow anybody.
All right, I'll let you stay with me and I'll blow them.
Okay,
but you're gonna have to clean the apartment though and make dinner. I feel like
I can do.
That's fine. I don't want Zuzu to have to live on the street.
Maybe hand jobs, and it's good for my muscles.
Handjobs are fine. I would jerk everyone off for $500.
At least with a hand job, you can do 2 at one time, so then you can increase your profits.
You can, but then you have to have these 2 dudes just laying right by you.
That's all right. I think I'll just blindfold them and
Did
be
you
like,
have-
tell them that there's not another person right next to him. I'm like this. Come on, just be quiet.
That's just my dog. My dog likes to be around. So if you feel anything near you, it's my dog. Have you watched The Handmaid's Tale? I'm getting into all of the shows now that all I'm doing is being home.
I watched the first 3 episodes and then I stopped watching. I don't know it. I think because it wasn't anything reason why. I was just more into reality shows at the time than getting into scripted shows where you have to kind of pay more attention.
That's because you like to be on your phone. I also
know.
get that. I also get that too. I like to be on my phone and then I'm lost.
Oh yeah, I'm a nightmare to watch movies with right now. I'm just like, what happened?
And it's like, you're watching this with me and you're like, oh no, but I'm not. I'm actually not watching anything right now. I am.
Yeah, I'm just like, I just prefer watching these TikToks right now than watching a full scripted series.
Somebody sent me a TikTok and you just get into a loophole, I guess, or like a rabbit hole of just watching a ton of them. And then
you keep thinking you're going to find more better ones. Like, I'm really into this black guy. He watches people make really crazy food, like deep frying quesadillas and adding tons of butter and sour cream to mac. And he's like, oh no, they just added sour cream to it. He keeps doing commentary and he's like, oh, these people are crazy. And it's so funny. I just really get a huge kick out of it. And then there's this other girl who just is like, these are celebrities that really bother the shit out of me. And she's like, I don't even know what this person's problem is. And I'm just really, I don't know. It's probably some of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Do they have millions of followers?
Yeah, they're probably doing better than most comics are right now that are on TikTok. And they're just doing they're not even putting stand-up videos. They're just commenting about pop culture and critiquing food videos and stuff like that.
I think that's where it's at. I think stand-up is probably going to die for a bit. So we just need to figure out a way to get on TikTok.
Well, I've been delivering jokes from my couch, one joke at a time, kind of like what we were doing on Instagram with caption videos. But for some reason, you don't really need to caption. And I've been doing that. And one of my videos got 1 million views.
That's awesome.
I know. It's just insane where you're like, I'm reaching more people this way than if I was doing stand-up at the clubs in the city.
So you got 1 million views on TikTok?
Yeah, just for that video. And then it spills over into all your other videos. And then I linked my Instagram and I think I've increased my followers on Instagram from TikTok.
That's great. Maybe I'll just put my videos on TikTok.
Do it. I just tell I just do a philosophy or an observation or just a random rant on TikTok from my couch. And that gets more views than most things do on Instagram. It has more of a democratic.
Right. It doesn't go by whether you're famous or not already.
Yeah, it does it. Well, it first does one where it releases it out to a small group of people. And if it does really well there, then they branch it out to a bigger demographic.
What if I get hooked on TikTok and can't get off? That's what I'm scared of.
I think that does happen, but I've noticed that I've neglected the other social media apps. I haven't been to Twitter as much as I used to because of TikTok lately. But now I'm starting to kind of get tired of TikTok because I feel like I'm seeing the same thing over and over again.
Do you think TikTok will send you emails like, hey, we've missed you, like the dentist does when they don't see you for a while?
Yes.
Hey, we haven't seen you doing any caption postings.
Are you okay? You're like, oh yeah, I've moved on.
They're like, we miss you. We haven't seen you get any tweets, Adrienne, that get 4 likes.
That's kind of like when your bank account is like, hey, we've noticed a lot of activity on your account lately. Where you're like, oh yeah, that's because I'm highly depressed and I'm just buying shit without.
Wouldn't it be nice if they were like, hey, we think you need to speak to a counselor? We're worried you're going to be broke and living on the street and having to blow guys for $500.
We've noticed that you bought some jet skis and you don't even live near water.
That's so funny for somebody that just buys jet skis and has them in their house.
Oh, I saw yesterday on the river, on the East River, there was a whole bunch of people just jet skiing outside. You're like, it looks like we're just having the time of our life during quarantine while the government take care. Like we finally get to all be trust fund babies.
Ooh, that is true. Now we're like trust fund babies, but I mean, I'm still not living like a trust fund baby though.
No, but I was thinking about this the other day, like if I get that unemployment money or in the stimulus
Ooh,
check.
what are you going to do?
Well, I do want to buy a pair of shoes. I miss shopping so much.
Me too. What I've been doing is buying stuff on Amazon, and then when I need money, returning stuff from Amazon.
Oh, that's smart.
So I bought a bunch of like games and stuff, played them for a little bit, and then I returned them.
Yeah, it's like a rental.
Well, I like to think that I'm giving them a journey, that they're coming here for a little bit, and then they're going to go back, and then they'll be with somebody else. It's kind of like children.
You're creating an economy for them. Also, Jeff Bezos makes so much money, so fuck him.
Isn't it crazy that do you think that he had that crazy divorce where he lost a bunch of money and now he's like, man, I keep winning. There's no way for me to lose.
Yeah, doesn't he make like something like $1 million a day or something crazy like that?
I would think with this, he's making so much more money because most people are only buying stuff through Amazon or like Amazon Fresh, or I think Whole Foods is through there now. So,
yeah, that's the thing where it is really funny to think of like people like, or he's like, this is a capitalistic society yet, and they complain about it, but yet they're constantly buying stuff from Amazon.
Yeah, look, also people that are upset that this is a capitalistic society are not doing well. That's the real issue. It's like, do better. I'm not doing well, and I still think it's a great society, even though I'm at the bottom of it.
I guess we would have done better if we had more of a socialized medicine rather than what we have right now.
Probably.
It's hard to say though. But yeah, it is just really funny to watch everybody like the hypocrisy of all of it, like calling it out. And then you're like, oh, you know that you still order from Amazon all the time. And it's so fun. Anytime I walk by a building and I can see in their lobby that there's tons of Amazon packages, I'm always like, oh my God, I'm so excited for them.
It feels like Christmas every day.
Yeah. And then
even if I order batteries, I'm like so excited for batteries.
I know, it is so fun. And even in your apartment building, I saw an Onion headline where it was like, even though you know that you haven't ordered anything from Amazon, but still when you see there's a package in your lobby, you're like, maybe Amazon sent me something.
You're like, maybe someone surprised me.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be really nice if somebody just sent you a surprise gift through Amazon?
That would be the best.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I think that we're going to get out of quarantine and then we're going to go right back into quarantine. So I'm just going to stay in quarantine.
Well, I have a feeling after this weekend, we'll probably have a spike 5 days from now.
Oh, yeah, because today's not really that great out, but yesterday and the day before were really nice out.
I know. I just think it's just funny because you know that Andrew Cuomo today is like so mad at us.
Yeah, he's like, none of us want to like even watch his press release because we know we did bad. We're like a dog that took a shit on the carpet, and we're like, don't yell at us, Cuomo. We know we did wrong, but we couldn't help it.
I know. We were like, but did you see it was so nice outside?
You're like, we socially distanced.
We did everything
like 1 foot.
Yeah. I tweeted that on Twitter, and Alex English made me laugh really hard. He's like, he's taking out his nipple rings for this, which makes me laugh because remember when girls fight, they take off their earrings. Like, he's so mad at us, he's like taking off his nipple rings.
That's really funny.
To give us spankings.
This is what I'm doing during quarantine. I found the adult version of like what you did as a kid when you were poor and went to rich neighborhoods to trick or treat. I'm just driving to nicer neighborhoods and walking around there.
That's so much nice. Like walking around nice neighborhoods really does make you feel better.
First of all, you walk around there, and also what I like to do is I like to guess how much I think the house is worth and then go on Zillow and see how much it actually is and see how far I am. It's a nice little game to play when you're poor.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed. These houses, some of them are like, there's one house I saw that was $8 million, and it was like not nearly as nice as some of the other houses for $2 or $3 million.
Yeah. Somebody had posted what Justin Bieber's house looks like, and it looks like a community college.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, but it is nice to walk around there. Everyone is pretty nice. Everyone keeps, for the most part, keeps a distance. And then you see like those rich trust fund kids.
Yeah.
I also try and big dick people, like when you're walking towards each other to see who will move first. That's another fun game.
I feel like you could just infiltrate and just be there every morning and finally become friends with some of the housewives there where they think you live in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and then would I have to just sleep with one of their husbands? How do I actually break into the rich people? Like, how do I get in with them?
I think you hang out on the corner when they start taking their kids to school, and then you are like, I just dropped my kid off, and then you're just talking to them and like, we should really hang out. And then eventually they invite you over for coffee probably, and then you start fucking their husbands.
They're like, what are you doing here? Where's your kid? I'm like, oh, I actually don't have any kids.
He's in boarding school. I put him in boarding school right now.
He just couldn't take it. He has so many issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the houses there are so nice where you're like, I'm just tired of being poor. Because then you leave there and you come back here and it does make your depression spike.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Where you're just sad. You're just sad in this little apartment. And these other people have like so many big houses and bedrooms they don't need in bathrooms.
I want a pool. That's what I get jealous about when I see a house with a pool. You're like, that looks amazing.
Well, where I was walking, there's pools, but also people were right off the water.
Oh, that is
so
amazing.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, for anyone who's upset about a capitalistic society, it's just because they're not doing well. That's it.
Yeah, that's well. It shows you their where their projection or like where they're sad about. Kind of like when people get upset when you're like joggers, like what is it, Kathy and Jimmy? I saw her tweet like, you guys are ruining everything. You need to stay in. And I saw a jogger and I was like, it sounds like you're having a real issue with people working out right now.
Yeah, it sounds like she wishes she was working out and she's not working out.
Yeah, she's just like, I want everyone to stay at home and be like me.
I mean, she could also go out. I mean, I don't enjoy like when it's super hot out to be running or something, but when it's like nice out to go for like long walks, it's the best.
Well, we did an urban hike this Sunday where we ate sandwiches in the park, and I thought that was pretty fun. We went to Roosevelt Island, which is weird. It's such a weird island because you're like, who the fuck lives here?
How did you get there? You guys you walked there or you took the train?
No, we walked there because we kind of live close to in Astoria off of 36th Avenue. There's a bridge that crosses over to it. So it's about a 10-minute walk to get to the entrance of Roosevelt Island.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
It's like 5 miles to get to the tip of the point of it.
I was thinking of going there because I've never even been there before. What is it like?
They have a really cool park, and they just put in a new school campus. I think Cornell or something is affiliated there, and they have the park is pretty cool. And at the tip of it, they have Franklin Delano Roosevelt's head, and then they have a concrete, and you can walk to the tip like you're on the Titanic. And it's a glass structure. And then they have like a little wildlife retreat with lots of cats, and it's baby duck and baby goose season. So we saw a little baby goose.
Ooh, that's very cute.
Yeah, so that was kind of nice. And they have all these like trees that are lined up that are really nice. But then when you get into the city part of it, it feels like you're in like Eastern Europe, like kind of depressing and bad looking apartments.
Are there stores and stuff there? I've never been there before. I don't know anything about it.
They have grocery stores, and they do have like pizza and Italian restaurants, and then like a few coffee shop kind of, or bodegas.
Did you see a lot of people out there, or were people not really?
Compared to the other parks, it was really easy to social distance there compared to what I saw from the West Village.
Isn't it crazy that it took this like pandemic or quarantine for people to go outside? Because everyone is always like home on their phones, on their computers, watching TV, playing video games.
Yeah, on the train. Because a lot of the times you're like, I go out all the time, especially for stand up, and we're constantly on
Right.
the train. So anytime that I could stay at home, I always stayed at home. So now, like, I've been going on evening walks every evening with my sister.
Oh, that's nice. Is she
Yeah.
excited? Is she excited to be moving back home? I imagine she would be.
Yeah. Well, I think she had a bad breakup. The guy that she was seeing for a year just completely, they got into one kind of fight, and then he never reached out to her.
Like they had a fight where it was like, "Hey, never call me again. I hate you," or just like a fight.
Just like a silent treatment, and then no, and then he didn't reach out until I emailed him and was like, hey, that's really disturbing that you just did that. And then he reached out, and then it just didn't end well. So she had that. Like, I don't know the full details, because I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to hear like who he said, she said, but I just know that even the only time that I would think that you could ghost somebody after a year is if they're completely abusive. And I know that my son's not an abusive person. So that's why I was like, you should at least come to, come to an understanding of like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where New York's already pretty shitty. All you need is a little push to leave.
Yeah, and if you're not here for like, if you could do your job somewhere else, then I say go do it somewhere else, because it's like crazy how much money that we spend here, not just on rent, but like going to groceries. Groceries are twice as much as they are in any other state. Like, this city is just
Everything.
ridiculous.
I wonder though if after this a lot of people will leave and rents will lower, or if it'll just make an influx of more people coming here. Like in about a year to 2 years. Because this is, I think whoever said like the quarantine is gonna be I think that too. Like we're gonna be in and out of quarantine a bunch, kind of like a person that's in and out of jail just can't stay out. I think that's how we're gonna be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't, it's hard to say where like we're stand like are comedy clubs going, even in, I don't know about like certain states didn't really get hit that hard, and it makes sense because they don't live the way that we do. That you're like, would you go to a comedy club if they were like, hey, we'll pay you to come out here to perform?
So me and Sean Patton will book to do that tour in like a couple days in May, June, and July. We were supposed to do, I think, Nashville and another place in May. And my manager and our manager, Marlene, reached out to me. She was like, hey, are you guys still going to do those dates? And I was like, what? I was like, she's like, well, technically where those dates are, there's no quarantine, I guess, or they won't be at that time. She's like, so technically you can do it. I'm like, yeah, man, I have no idea what's going to happen to New York. Like we are honestly like almost in the ICU, New York. Like you could be doing okay and then just derail in one day. Like I was like, I'm definitely not doing May. I said, we could see what June's like, but I don't want to like leave here on a plane and then come back and it's fucking chaos again.
Yeah, I feel like I would just persevere, because I don't know. I would probably take the plane. I would just wear gloves and a mask, and then wash my hands as much as possible, and maybe, I don't know. If somebody was paying me, I guess I just have the feeling right now, or my mindset is like, I guess we have to go out and work.
I don't know. I'm not ready to do that right now. I'm not ready to risk it for a couple $100. I'd rather just blow that guy on the street.
And you mean like risk it for your health, or risk it? Because it's not like, I feel like I wouldn't come back and like hang out with people. I would probably just stay back in my apartment and keep my going out to a limited.
Oh yeah, I would keep my limited. I wouldn't go out, but I think if you're on the road, you're staying in a hotel. Do you know what I mean? You have to go out to eat. You're just like exposing yourself to so many more elements that, hey, if somebody was like, I'm going to give you $1 million, I'd be like, I'm going to risk it. It just doesn't seem worth it to risk it when it's probably not that much money. I have to pay for my own airfare. It's just, I don't think we were getting, I think, a deal where it depends on how many people come.
Yeah.
So it's just
a door deal?
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. It's not like a guarantee. And plus, too, you might get sick.
Well, if I was going to an area that didn't have it, it's just kind of weird where you're like, aren't you concerned that I would bring it over there and just wipe out your population?
I think I think right now people are really hurting for money, and I understand it. I think they don't really care. I don't know.
Well, because I know in the town that my mom is from, like nobody's tested positive for it.
You mean in
Kingwood, Texas, or outside of Houston. And then they've already, they didn't either. I don't know if they didn't get peaked or whatever, but they even closed down their COVID tents. Like they didn't get hit hard but we'll see how it is now that they've reopened their economy again.
I mean, I hope it stays like that. I hope there's not. I think in Larchmont where it was, I think there was like one death from it and like 58 people had it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think in areas where there's a lot more people, the numbers are just going to be higher. Didn't you say something about Georgia's numbers spiking because they reopened it?
I don't think that was me, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're letting people go to the movie theater and being all that. At least Atlanta's. That's a pretty populated city.
Mm-hmm. I watched some nurse who was talking about it, and she was like practically crying in the video where she's like, hey man, like I'm out here risking my life every day and you're just going to reopen the economy. Like I go home and I have to take all my clothes off at the front door and then go shower before I could even talk to my husband. Yeah. That's why if I was a health worker right now, I think I'd just be like, fuck you, I'm out. I'll just go to mechanic school.
Yeah. Or find
another doesn't job. Seem like it, like she's right. Like there are these nurses who are risking their lives. It's like we're just being careless. Not all people, but like just being careless going to the movies. Yeah. It's like you can watch so much stuff at home. You know, like it's one thing to go for a walk, but I don't know. It just seems like the people that are at risk were just being careless with their lives in a way.
Yeah, but I also feel I'm at the same point of like what we were talking about earlier with Cuomo. I'm like, okay, if we're all just going to go out and hang out at the park with no mask, then we might as well just open the account because we're just like destroying everybody financially.
Right. He's probably, I guess maybe that's like the stepdad's thing, or where he's like, well, if you're not going to listen to me anyway, you might as well just go out to work and pay your own bills. And, you know, if you're not going to listen to me, he's like a dad. Best
of luck to you. But I did a Zoom show this weekend and I made $150. And I was like, that's kind of on the realm of what I would have made on a Saturday night with 2 spots around, you know, they're what, $80, $75 a spot. That there was part of me that's like, this is way better than what I was
Well, it's interesting. Yeah. I was thinking about you saying that. And then Mila's and Carmen did that show yesterday. And I think it was like, 150 people brought tickets and I think 120 showed up or something around that. And like, we all made good money.
Yeah.
We did new jokes. We didn't even do like old stuff unless like it was something we wanted to add to it. And then like, we kind of just talked how we would talk through a joke at the diner. And like, we didn't have to leave the house. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we made more money but you know, I just wonder if people will start headlining like that through Zoom shows. Cause you technically could do it.
You could, and the pressure's kind of off and everyone's really nice about it. And also you can reach a lot more people now that anyone can come watch you from their living room. Where before most people are like, I can't make it to New York. So now they can just go online and watch you do work on jokes and give you $5 each.
And they don't have to buy drinks. You know, they can have drinks at their house, but like, I wonder what it will do to actual comedy clubs. Cause you're like, well, we could really just take you out.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I also like this, like during, it was for a Casey Belsham show and she told everyone to keep their mics unmuted so we could hear them laugh. But then there'll be somebody that comes in the middle of it. And then you can hear one of her family friends being like, it's Casey's comedy friends. They're doing a show for us.
Oh, that's funny.
Or like, I just think it's funny, like somebody's straight up vacuuming during your set, which makes me laugh really hard to picture like a waitress being like, hey, can you kind of not vacuum?
Yeah, I'm trying to do something here. That is really funny. I guess people also just kind of think it's like the TV where like you could do what you want while it's on.
Yeah. And so, but it was enjoyable and it wasn't like you could get mad at like them. It wasn't like they were doing a straight up heckle because they're just like, yeah, this is a new format, but it's so funny. I mean, like, hear somebody being like, yeah, that's what you do. Like you can hear them.
Yeah.
Talking a show.
It's interesting because there is still going to be nothing like an actual audience to connect with and have that live laughter there.
Definitely.
But I do wonder how this will impact comedy, where like if you have a fan base, you could just do your own shows. Do you know what I mean? Like if you had a big enough fan base.
Yeah. And if you like, I don't know, isn't it annoying in between spots? Sometimes you have to kill about 2 hours.
Yeah, you could say you did a club, right? And throughout the weekend that you had 2,000 people there that whole weekend. Just say, I don't know, say you made $2,000 that weekend, which is on the low end, I guess.
Yeah.
You could do one show, have 5,000 people come to it, have them pay between, $5 and $20.
Drink
and
at
then just
home.
drink at home. No one's drinking and drive, and no one's paying a cover. Well, they're paying a cover, I guess, but no one's paying for drinks, looking for parking. I just wonder how this will affect comedy in the future.
Yeah, it is really interesting because it's like most comics weren't really making extreme amount of money compared to what our expenses are to get to these gigs. It's like,
well, yeah, that's
almost not worth it.
Well, that's why when it's like to risk going to these 2 shows and possibly getting COVID and then not making, and like it just doesn't make sense to me. If it was really good money, I probably would risk my life more for it.
Yeah.
It just
definitely
doesn't seem worth it to like pay for airfare, go to these shows. And also look, who knows who's coming out to shows? I don't know if people are like so bored home that they want to go out, or some people might be scared. I think when people are out walking in a park, they're like, well, I have control over this. I can walk away from people. But like if I'm in a room,
maybe there'll be more outside comedy clubs, which is awful.
I rather do comedy through Zoom than have to travel to an outside place and also have it suck.
I know, and then eat it there. Like the other thing that I was laughing about too is like we talked about this on Chris. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm bringing up old stuff.
That's
now
okay.
I'm just realizing we did talk about this after, but like it is funny. Like now when you eat it on a Zoom show, but you can't even tell when you're eating it.
And how bad can you really eat it when you could just turn this off and watch TV?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have to act, like I've bombed on a show and had to walk through the crowd after. Do you know what I mean? I could bomb for 100 people or 200 people and then just be like, all right, I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to watch Mad Men or whatever, take my mind off that. It's different. You're not really sitting in the bomb through a Zoom show.
Yeah. You're out and you're like, I don't know if that was a bomb, but I felt pretty good that I got that stuff out.
Yeah. And I also got $150. So who cares? That would be 2 shows on a Saturday night.
Oh yeah. Well, that's like when Ashley and I did our film festival, I looked at our views and we had 148 views and I'm like, it seems low for YouTube, but if you think about it in a show,
that's a lot of people.
I would be really happy to do a show once every 3 weeks and have 150 people come to it.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. So
did you guys have fun during it?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. It was really funny because we emailed the comics and we were like, hey, can you get there at least 15 minutes before so we can go over like how because it is an actual show. We're like, okay, everyone, we're going to take you off your microphone and your video and then unmute yourself when we introduce you so we can talk to you about your film. But my friend Paul Odo,
he's great. I love him.
I do, but he doesn't really follow directions pretty well. So he never read the email. He shows up 20 minutes late. So it's like he barrel rolled onto stage in the middle of our that we started.
That's hilarious.
We were like, Paul, get out. You're on the show right now. We're just like yelling at him to turn his mic and video off where he's like, what? Like he probably thought we were just major assholes, but I'm like, it's the equivalent of you showing up through the stage.
Right. And just going on stage as soon as you get there, like, hey, I have to go to a birthday party after this. And you're like, hey man, we all have birthday parties after this. You can't just do that.
Yeah, you're like, how hard is it just to show up at like 15 minutes in your living room early?
Yeah.
So that part was pretty funny. We're like, no, it's an actual show. Like you can't just show up 20 minutes late.
I think eventually though, if we were to stay in quarantine long enough, people will start coming up with excuses not to go to work from home.
Oh yeah. I mean, people already have hard times keeping commitments with, like Zoom meetings and all that stuff.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
I mean, that's happening all across the board. I've talked, like, several people I've talked to, they're like, yeah. And I know with Ashley and I, we meet up at every now and then. We're like, hey, can we do this another time? Like, she'll be like, oh, I had a whole Zoom. She had to teach a class over Zoom. And then I'm like, yeah, I totally get it. It's too much to ask people to yell at their computer all day long. You're like, I feel like
It
one
is
of
a
these
lot.
days. Yeah.
Yeah, it is hard to do this for a long period of time just because you're kind of sitting in one position. You can't really like pee or anything. And there is something taxing about constantly be looking at. It's weird because like I'll look at my phone all day, but I guess it's in short spurts.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at a screen constantly and like just talking into it, it's hard to do like this. I'll do this and then like a meeting later, but doing this and like zooming with more people, it's just like a lot.
It is, and it's frustrating too because at least it sounds like Zoom only lets one person talk at a time, and naturally in a conversation, somebody will kind of start their thought a little bit while the other person's talking, and so it gets all mumble jumble, and there's a lot, and the delay is kind of annoying. So you're like, "What? Oh no, you!"
And
it's
then
like you have
especially
to raise your hands.
Yeah, and especially with my dumb computer that I don't know what's going on.
But this is better. I don't know why.
Yeah. I wonder why though, because they're both connected to the same Wi-Fi.
What time was your show yesterday?
4.
Maybe it's like on a Sunday, everybody was out or something. I have no idea, but it's just, it is odd that this works better on your phone than it did on your computer. But if you did your
worked
show on
fine
your computer,
yesterday.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'll call them up and try and figure it out. Did we get any emails? I haven't been checking.
Let me see.
I am curious to see what people are doing from home during quarantine to keep sane.
Well, it's not, I don't think we got emails, but you know what's interesting? So I've been releasing some of our old stuff behind the paywall on YouTube. Like I'll do once a week from 4 months ago, and I'll put that. So now we're getting more comments on our stuff and people subscribing to our channel.
I didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah. Well, I think we discussed that we were going to start releasing some stuff behind the paywall, because at least on YouTube, that way we can get more subscribers, because a lot of people listen to our podcast through.
That makes sense.
Through YouTube. I'm not doing anything current, but stuff from like 4 or 5 months
No,
ago.
I get that.
Like, so
That's
I remember
smart.
one of them was, I think we did that street fight, and somebody called us cunts.
Ooh. Which street fight was that? Was that the fight that I got into with the guy hitting my car?
No, it was when they called us nosy cunts because we taped a couple fighting.
Fuck them.
Remember that when it was that woman, that guy was like, "You never work" or something.
Yeah, that was a great fight. First of all, if you fight in the street and people listen to you, that's on you. You could fight anywhere else except right on the street screaming.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're fighting outside, that's for everyone. You're doing a show, and that's for us.
Also, whoever called us nosy cunts, I bet they watched the whole video of the people fighting.
Oh yeah.
I only respect them if they saw it for 4 seconds and turned it off.
Yeah. Well, why they clicked on it because they really wanted to watch a street fight.
Yeah, I think what's happening now is a lot more people are just able to fight through like social media, because there's no real immediate like harm or worry about getting into a fight. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so much easier, like people that are on keyboard warriors, to just fight with somebody behind a fucking keyboard.
Yeah.
Because most of these people, like if we were doing that, taping them, those people would probably never say we're nosy cunts to our face.
Oh, definitely. Never in a million years. I feel like that's probably turning us a lot into incels, because we're just staying at home on our computer all day long, and you're getting mad that you're like all of a sudden I find myself leaving negative comments on people.
Maybe that's how it starts. Maybe we'll go bomb something after this is over.
I know, you're like, oh, now it makes sense why there's incels. I get it. This was from Shin. He's like, haven't written in a while, been trying to adapt to the new world order. My worlds of dance and comedy have collided a bunch. Karen Fion takes virtual workouts from a stripper I used to train with, Dottie Dynamo, pre-corona. I started at Equinox with a guy who opened for Aaron Borg, Nick Simmons. I took my stripper name from Matt and Shane's secret podcast. And then the host of the Go-Go Night, I used to dance at his name, Luis Gomez, no J. So I guess different. So that's interesting. Okay, so anyway, he has a request for our Patreon, which I had to unsubscribe due to lack of money. We get the stripper world must be taking, but you can go on OnlyFans and strip on there.
I've seen a lot of comics who are now fisting their assholes on OnlyFans.
It's a different economy.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah, no harm. Anyway, I have a request for your Patreon, which I had to. Okay, would you guys get together in person and record yourselves watching and commenting on Chris D'Elia's new special and Brendan Schaub's special? All right. Love y'all. Zuzu rules. Take care. I feel weird commenting on other people's specials because I wouldn't want them to comment on anything that I've done.
Well, also, I feel like he's setting us up for failure because he's not asking us to review someone that most people think are good comics.
Yeah.
So I think if Shin wanted to come hang out with us after this was over, we could watch that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be on video talking about how I don't think, first of all, I don't even know any of Brendan Schaub's comedy at all. So maybe he is good. I have no idea. He might be great. But I've watched some of Chris D'Elia's stuff. What's funny with Chris D'Elia to me is I follow him, I think, on Twitter or Instagram. He's so funny on
he's great
media.
on social media for sure.
Yeah, because he does a bit of trolling and he kind of can get nasty, which I love.
Calls people out on bullshit where he's like, where it's like men's workout or these celebrities are like, just do this workout. And he's like, yeah, I just wish they would mention that they're on steroids.
Yeah, that's great. I have not watched his last 2 or 3 specials, so I have no idea what they're like.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't think I've watched a special in a long time, actually.
Did I? I feel like I watched
I think it was
special.
Louis. Louis was the last one that I watched, and I thought it was great.
I can't remember the last special I watched, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe Sam Morrill's, which was really good. I don't know.
Oh, I watched Tom Segura's, and I liked his as well.
I watched Tom Segura's also.
Yeah.
But that might be the last one then.
A big fan. But now, you know what's weird? Everyone's releasing comedy albums right now.
I know. So what do you think we have to do?
I don't know, because we're about to release, and then I'm like, I kind of want to know who's releasing with what's the schedule look like so I can do it in a time when like in between a week of people, so at least my sales can be spiked in the first week.
That's a good idea. I don't know how we'd know.
I don't know. I know Ian has one. Mike Kaplan has one. Chris Lambert came out with one. I think I'm coming out with one. You're going to come out with one soon. I'm sure Liz's special is coming out soon.
Maybe I'll just wait till 9/11. I feel like that's not a day people put stuff out.
That's true. And it's very on brand.
Maybe.
And they won't forget. I think you should. But 9/11 is so far away. Don't you want to just start making money if you can?
I do. I don't know. Maybe I'll do 6/11.
Oh, that was June 11th.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's around the corner.
Yeah, that's very close. I don't know. I'm still struggling with a title for it.
What do you? Oh yeah, I forgot. We were discussing this. What are your top 3 right now?
So I had 4, I think. Dark Queen.
I like that one.
Dark, Angry, and Unrelatable.
I like that one too.
It's long though, right?
I don't think it's long. Why is that long? It's just 3 words in a series.
I don't know. Then I was going to take one idea was just to name it like the punchline from one of my jokes, Baby Skeletons.
That's a good one.
Or
I think that one's really good.
I really like that one too. And then Marlene wants me to do America Stuck With Me, but I feel like, I don't know. I don't love that name. I don't hate it.
I think I prefer in the realm of like what you do And Baby Skeletons just sounds like a great album name for a comedy or a punk album.
Yes, that's true.
And I feel like it's a little bit of what you are. Like, you're cute, and then you have, some bones.
I might do that. I gotta
Yeah.
figure out what I'm gonna do for an album cover.
Yeah, that one's really hard because I have to say, when I look at a lot of comedy album covers, I find them to be super cheesy or something that you would find in a bin at a gas station on the way to, I don't know, another town, where you're like, who's this? And it's just like a wacky person in a straitjacket or something. Or
What if it's just like a cartoon picture of me and then Baby Skeletons is just written in like skeletons, like bones?
I like that.
We'll see. I'll play around with some ideas. But yeah, you're right. There are a lot of people releasing albums. So I think it's people just trying to make money somehow.
Yeah, I get that. That's why now I'm starting to see more comics being like, come to my Zoom show.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the way we're going to have to make money for a bit. So it's going to be weird. Like, I do think we're doing Zoom shows. You're not going to really know what works. It's going to be harder to fix jokes.
Yeah, I think I did a joke that kind of bombed the other day, and I was like, that's kind of weird that I kind of figured out that this didn't feel like it hit well.
What if during shows people just hold up numbers like you're in the Olympics and they're grading you? Could that work for Zoom, where they're like, you're getting a 0?
I think I'd rather just hear, or they're like this.
How about
The
just
gallery view?
Yeah, like a bomb.
I don't know. I know when we did the part that I liked about, you couldn't hear the laughs, but at least with the film festival, you didn't need to, because you're just like, we're just showing films. You don't need that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
People were using a lot of emojis in the chat area of the YouTube live. And when I went back and read it, I was like, I thought it was really cute and fun to see that kind of interaction while you had a set going on.
Yeah, what's interesting, when we did the show yesterday, you look at the comments, because when they were like doing
comments.
When they were doing their new jokes, we were kind of looking at the comments to see if there was anything we'd say for feedback. And then like people would just go off on tangents. Like one person was talking about how like they love fucking crackheads, and I was like, this is so not related to what we're talking about right now. So it's just interesting how people are just going off on tangents in the comments, where you're like, this is fun, I guess.
Yeah, it gives you something to bounce off of. I don't know why, but when I did an IG live and somebody was kind of mean about, or like didn't like my voice, and I didn't bother me, and then I just kind of like shot all over them, and then you're like, that felt really good because I didn't get to, you know what I mean? Like, because you're not fighting, and it's not confrontational, so you still get to spew, like fight for yourself, and it doesn't derail the show.
Right.
Kind of this realm I like almost better than doing straight stand-up sometimes.
Yeah, it's really gonna be interesting, and everything's so up in the air right now that nobody really knows what's going on. So it's gonna be like an interesting, what it kind of feels like right now? It feels like my mother and father just told me they're getting divorced, but everyone's still living in the house.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know if dad's moving out or mom's moving out, or we're all gonna live there, and it's just kind of tense and weird, but nobody knows what's happening.
Oh yeah, it's like really up in the air. Like, I don't know. It could get worse or it could get a little bit better. That's the thing that's so weird. Like, we're always told to be all this safety and all this stuff, and then you're walking around the whole time and you're like, I don't know, it feels like everyone's fine.
Yeah, I even don't see that many people on social media saying that they've know people or people are sick still, but that's because we've been inside. So I think once people go back out, the numbers will go back up. Especially
if if people are going to go on public transportation, I feel like that's where it's going to spike. Also, working in an office, I remember I hated working in an open office because once one person is sick, everyone gets sick. And I hope that kind of work culture of like working in an open office gets shut down.
I think a lot of people will probably work from home for a bit.
Yeah, I think that would be the best thing. Even if they did open the economy, if you can stay home, I think that sounds better.
It lessens the chance of your family getting sick. And then, because like they said, what is it? Every person like affects up to 3 people. It's up to 3 times as contagious. So yeah, if you have a family and you're going to work and you're touching door, it's also so hard to know what is actually, like, if you take something off, if you bring something in your house but you have gloves on and then the bag was outside but you put that bag on your table, now your table, it's just like, you get people who have OCD right now must be losing their minds.
Yeah, and I forget. I think that's why I don't mind wearing the face mask, because at least if I touch my face when I'm out, at least I'm just touching.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or it reminds you that you need to not touch your face, where, like, sometimes I'll come in my apartment after being out and then I'll get sidetracked where I didn't wash my hands right away, and then I realize I just itched my eye. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I've done similar stuff too. Or like, I've been leaving my shoes outside, but it's like sometimes I'll walk around in the house with them and I'm like, well, what about Zuzu's walking and then she's on the bed with me? So it's like everything is so weird. You don't know what.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Like yesterday, where people are walking around, a lot of people don't even have masks or any gloves on or anything like that. And then I'll see a lady with her boyfriend who's in cargo shorts and a tank top with no mask or gloves, and she's wearing a hazmat suit with sunglasses and then a face mask, that you're just like,
well, yeah, if you're fucking this dude who's got no protection on, why are you wearing a hazmat suit? Like,
but I was like, do you have it? Is that why you're more protected than all of us? Like, I don't, that part I was like, that seems a little excessive, but whatever makes you feel happy in your environment, I say go for it.
I guess I did see somewhere on one of the social media sites where somebody met up with their, I guess, Tinder date or something and ended up getting COVID.
Yeah, that makes, I don't know. Well, if you're meeting a stranger and you don't know their circle of where they've been, like,
you don't, first of all, everyone lies so much on those dating sites. You can't trust anybody. So also, if this person's fucking you, that means they've probably fucked other people too.
yeah. That's the thing I was thinking about. Like, if you get COVID now while we're supposed to be like locked in a little bit, then it's kind of like what happened? Like, what did you do? You're up to something.
Did you see the, I think it was like an article I read about how China, first of all, we're going to end up having a war with China.
It sounds like what happened was like a Chernobyl situation where they leaked it out of a lab by mistake or got contaminated and then tried to cover it up.
Yeah, but then also they stopped sending 48% of supplies out because they had it there. So they sent out 48% less, I think, surgical masks and ventilators and possibly sanitizers. So they sent out much less because I guess they were using it there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we're going to have another huge world war.
Well, this is definitely very political for sure. Like, yeah. It's just weird how, like, the conservative, I get their feeling of like, we got to open up the economy. This might be worse than like the actual cure. And I get that. But like at the same time, I mean, other places are getting really hit hard that you can't really just open willy-nilly, that there should be at least a medium, but everyone's so polarized with it.
Well, it's weird to not understand the ramifications of opening up a place like New York City too fast.
It's crazy.
I get everybody. Look, people who are on the higher ups, all they care about is money. Unfortunately, to us, we're just numbers and they don't care about us. That's what most people don't realize. So they're like, don't they care about human lives? And the truth is no. So
there's no attachment to us.
No. So you have to really just take care of yourself right now and do what's best for you. So I don't know if it means not going to work and collecting unemployment for a bit or moving in with family. You just have to do what you want to do or what makes you feel comfortable, because these fucks don't give a shit about you. They don't care about anyone but themselves.
No, I mean, but I kind of understand that feeling, because like if you read a news article and you find somebody that died that you don't know, I'm never like, oh my God. I just go on about my day.
If I was probably a rich millionaire right now, I'd be like, yeah, open the economy up. I would probably be like, I don't want to lose millions of dollars when only a couple people are going to die.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what they're thinking. So I get that what you're saying, I get what you're saying. Like, it's just like, if it's not personal to you, it just feels like, yeah, who cares? I'm like, I do the same thing with parking spots.
Yeah. You muted your video camera?
Oh. Sorry, I had a call coming in. I didn't know that would happen.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just deleted it. That's fine. Like, if I see somebody holding a parking spot in Manhattan, I will get furious and fight with them. But I've also asked people to do that. So it's like, I'm also a hypocrite and do the same shit.
Oh, we
So
all do. It's
we
all
all
the
do.
time. Yeah. It's crazy.
So I understand what they're doing also. This has a really big effect on a lot of people. So I think
it's insane. This is a really, it's insanity.
I was going to say one day I'll tell my grandkids about it, but I won't be having kids. So one day I'll tell someone's grandkids about how crazy this was.
I know there was part of me that was like, talking in therapy that I was like, maybe I want kids, but it's like so funny to bring up wanting kids right now during a pandemic.
But you know what? You're not the only person to say that. I've heard other people say, I feel like I want to have a child now because there's so much uncertainty. It's like bringing some kind of enjoyment into your life, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't sound crazy to me. Like I get if you're going to be home anyway, you're like, I might as well raise a kid.
Well, I definitely feel like I've reevaluated certain things in my life where I'm like, I like stand-up, but I think I hate the part of how much time of my life it wastes. And then as you get older, it gets really infuriating to me, especially because it's not like I've broken through. So I still have to do all the bullshit that you're doing when you kind of first start. And that's so time wasting.
You don't have to do all that stuff.
But you know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of I've been going on walks with my sister every day, like social distancing with her. And I didn't get to do family stuff in the past. Or now I have time to like make a dinner and watch a movie. And I'm also fulfilled creative wise by doing like the film festival, our podcast, and then doing a Zoom show or tweeting. And I get to do all of that within home that I'm just like, part of me is like, I hate the fact that stand up, I have to kill 2 hours out of my day in the city while I'm waiting to go up. It's infuriating to me.
Do you ever kill time in the city to do a show and then it ends up getting canceled?
And it doesn't even bother me. I'm like, oh, cool. But
sorry, I have to open the window. It's
could have
so
been
hot
home.
here.
Oh yeah, it is hot. It's getting hot outside. We can wrap it up soon because I know that you got to take a phone call.
Oh, that's okay.
But we're kind of at the hour mark anyway.
Okay. I'll just tell you this. I remember I had this friend, Stacia, that loved stand-up. Like when I first met her, she was so into stand-up more than me. And we did this show where, this is in the beginning of comedy. I was doing it 5 years. She was doing it 6 or something like that. I think we took a train to Philly to do like this awful show at like a black club. And it was just like white women. It was so weird. It ended up being fun, but it was definitely not planned right. And then we took like, I think another trip. We came back. I think we made $100 from it, which is like no money.
Yeah.
And she loved stand-up so much, and she was so gung-ho about it, started a show, and then she was working in Queens. She used to work for the Mets. She lived in Queens, worked for the Mets, and she took like a trip out to Brooklyn for a show. And I think she said it was like an hour-and-a-half comedy ride. The show was canceled. And like maybe a week or two after that, she was like, I quit. Like,
yeah,
it's just so weird how you can love something so much, and this can be so brutal, where I've done that same thing, worked in Westchester, driven to Brooklyn, which is like from Westchester, about an hour 20 minutes with traffic. The show's gotten canceled, and you're like, what am I doing? I just wasted 3 hours of my life. I haven't made any money. I'm negative money now because I'm paying for gas and tolls. At some point, you're just like, oh, this is fucking insane.
Yeah, remember that gig we did in, was it Philadelphia, where we got an hour late because we had to go through an insane blizzard snowstorm, and then we get there and it wasn't even enough people to do one show, and they spread it out over 2.
I remember we were supposed to do, I think, 45 minutes each, and the first show I think we did 20, and then the second show we did about 12 to 15. There was like 4 people sitting at the bar. And the weird thing is he charged for that show, but it was like a hookah bar that you could have just walked into. So none of it made sense. We drove there in a blizzard and a storm. It's like, you really have to be so, I think, worn down by your childhood to keep doing this. Like, because if you have any self-esteem, you're out.
Well, that's how I feel like now what's going to end up happening is like, I'm not going to do shows where it's not worth time or money. So if I find out I'm going to do a show and only 5 people are in the audience, like, then I'm not going out for it.
And that's what I mean. Like, those things you don't have to do anymore. Because at some point, it is not productive to your career. It doesn't help you in any way to waste 3 hours for a show that there's 5 people at.
Oh yeah, and that was the other thing too, is like I feel like we've been a little bit more social because like now I think on Saturday night we did a Zoom trivia and it was a bunch of comics and you're like, when did we ever get to hang like this? And it was nice because it was allotted for the trivia game. So it was about an hour, hour and a half. And then when it ended, we were at home. So we didn't have to take an hour train ride. And you still had the feeling that you socialized with people.
I think at the end of the day, living in New York is a waste of time unless you're filthy rich. Honestly, don't live here unless you have so much money and you can live like at the highest level living here. Like the fact that I have to go out to do laundry infuriates me.
Yes. Or I just feel like you should be, to live in New York where it's beneficial for yourself, you have to make at least 6 figures. So you don't have to take a train ride home. You can take a car service anywhere.
At least 6 figures. And that's not even probably in the high 6 figures, like at least $250,000.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's only the low end too. So yeah, anything like that and above, you can live okay here. But even that person at $250,000, they don't have a huge house here.
Yeah. Well, it's not even with New York. Like I'm talking to my mom with her job. It was probably about close to anywhere to 2 hours to 3 hours a day that she was commuting to work. And now she told me that she's lost 10 pounds because of not eating at work because there's always snacks and shit around. And then now she's able to take walks in the evening because she has that hour to set. Of course. That you're just like, it's just a way better life that we're living right now than what we were beforehand for nothing. Like, and I don't even think I'm making that much more money now.
Well, now I'm not making any money.
Well, I got, we like the Patreon, we should be getting that into our bank account and either today or tomorrow. And then I got some spot pay and then.
Oh, that's true.
I was like, I think I made the same amount of money in comedy this last month as I was beforehand because my expenses were high and now my expenses are low, but I'm making the same amount of money.
I definitely lost money. This was the first time I was going to actually make some money and save it, and now I've made none. So
yeah, well, that's the bummer. It killed the momentum, I think, for sure, which was unfortunate.
I think it's killed everyone's momentum, though.
Well, I think about also people like Nikki, too. She was just about to start her own. I mean, she was in the very beginning of her own theater show. And I feel like this sucks that this put like a little kink in it. That you have to figure out ways that your name's still out there.
The nice thing is it's kind of killed everyone's momentum, though. It's not like it's not like I did something where I went out and drunk drive and killed somebody. And now they're like, well, Adrienne, no one cares that you did the degenerates. You just murdered someone.
Yeah. Well,
although that might actually have given me more press, but
true.
Yeah, everyone's momentum is killed right now.
Well, it feels like we're all back at the start line now.
Yes,
like
it does.
A little bit of an even playing field for a little bit.
And I'm like, hey man, I'm about to retire. How do you retire when you don't have any money? I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah, I have no idea. Now I regret anything that I never invested any money. I don't have a savings account, or now it's all blown.
Yep.
I was really bad. So irresponsible.
You're so bad.
Remember so bad.
We were doing that for a whole episode. Well, I want to hear what other people are doing during quarantine and how you fucked up your life and spent money and now you have none.
Yeah.
If you're doing really well, tell us what we should be doing.
Or have you had any epiphanies, or what would you do different now coming out of quarantine?
Ooh, and I also like to know what people are going to do once things are back to normal. Like, I do want to go on vacation, even though I have no right to, because I'm vacationing technically right now. But this is the worst vacation ever.
I know what you mean, but you could I think we all deserve to go on a nice vacation. Like, I want to go to the beach.
Me too. I would like to go to some kind of island, just sit on the beach and not have to worry about people passing me and wearing a mask and gloves and sanitizing every 5 seconds. So.
Yeah, that is infuriating. I stopped washing my groceries.
Ooh, good for you. I'm
Well-
still doing it, but we'll see how long that lasts.
I read somewhere that that wasn't really a concern that you should have. So I was like, all right. I hate it anyway, and I don't feel like I'm doing it.
If you could tell me anything at this point, I'll be like, cool. If they're like, I don't know, sanitizer doesn't really help, I'll be like, sure, I'll stop doing it.
Well, that's the crazy thing about this is like because like for one example, we'll read baseball commission will be like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to have baseball's coming back real soon, and then you'll have Dr. Fauci that's like, no sporting events this year, and you're like, well, what? I don't understand what is it? So it feels like you're getting constantly opposite information.
So I think, again, it's like what we talked about. People who are rich don't want to lose money, whereas Dr. Fauci, whatever his name is, he has really no interest except being honest because it doesn't really affect him anyway.
Yeah, he's going to make the same amount of money either way, where the baseball is like,
they're like, we don't care. I mean, I guess they could have games if all those people are sequestered together and don't ever have any other interaction with other people. Do you know? But it's like once you start introducing them to other people, you put everyone at risk again.
Yeah, I think they were just thinking about like, I guess no stadium people. The stadium's not full, and then I think the only player that should be in question is the umpire because he's always close to people.
Right.
But if you run on base, maybe you can sit it out, or you know what I mean, like social distance within 6 feet while you're.
If I was a baseball player and I had to play for nobody, I would not do my best. I'd be like, there's nobody here. I don't really care about this.
We're still making millions of dollars.
Trillions of dollars.
It's amazing. We should have been baseball players, but female sports don't get anything.
Maybe it'll be like World War II when everyone went out to war and all the women had to play. Maybe we'll play sports.
I'm into that.
Yeah, but I'd like to know what everyone's doing at home and what bad decisions they've made.
Yes. That email us at vagpodcast@gmail.com. Rate us on iTunes. Email us.
Yeah, email us questions or some ideas you have, and
join our Patreon. What do you have anything to plug?
I have nothing to plug right now, but I am working on a Tinder Tap Out book, so I will hopefully have that out, have some more info on it.
Yeah,
because I figured now's the best time to do it because I have so much free time.
Definitely. You could probably self-publish and sell those as well, and that might be faster than waiting for a lit agent.
That's what I was thinking. I'm going to explore all my options right now, but yeah, I just want to do that because I think at this point we have to just kind of put our own stuff out because it's going to be a while.
I think you and I should do our own live show and charge people.
Let's do it. We could set it up.
We could do a Vag Podcast live. We do have a Patreon tier, but we could just take that off and do it on our YouTube channel and then have people Venmo us donations, suggested donations.
We can do that. Or I guess what Liz did is she set up an Eventbrite, and then people donated how much they wanted, and some people gave $5, some people gave $50, depending on what they could afford. And then you send them, I think, a link to the Zoom, and then at that time you go on, and then we could do like half podcast, half Q&A with fans.
That sounds good. So
maybe we'll set that up. I could also ask Liz for info about it.
Okay, I know how to do the setup part.
Okay.
For the live shit and all that good stuff.
Awesome.
Alrighty, guys. Thanks for listening. Get a t-shirt.
Yeah, get a t-shirt. Stay safe. Don't wash your vegetables and stuff anymore.
Yeah, just cook them.
Just cook them. Or do what I do. Let them expire in the refrigerator and throw them out.
That's what I did with some cabbage this weekend.
It's so bad. You just keep thinking you could push it another day. And then you're like, I went 2 days too long. This is not, I can't eat this. This is not good.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like preparing it.
I know. It's more that it's so much easier to just get food delivered to you.
Oh my God, definitely.
Okay. Well, it's been fun.
Yeah, real fun.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Stay safe. Also, I'm gonna still wash my groceries. I lied.
Okay.
But maybe next week I'll stop when I run out of Clorox wipes.
We'll kill time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.